I am going to take this apart. It's my Katana Revisited segment. I am going to take this thing apart completely to bare bones, and then I'm going to put it back together, and that'll be my final conclusion on this Jkoo to see if they really improved on the fit and finish of the katana from the last one that I got, which this is a redo. Okay guys, here is Katana Revisited on this Hirazukuri sword from SinoSwords. So I did take it apart, as you can see here, okay? You have your two seppas, you have your fuchi right here, you have your suba, makugi pegs, and obviously the blade, okay? Habaki, I'm not even bothering taking it off because it's very tight on there. It's got a great fit, which is exactly what I was looking for. Here is the handle. Now, I was able to kind of take it apart pretty easily for the most part. It's the makugi pegs were a little tight. I had to kind of hammer it in there, but I'd rather have them a little tighter than looser, where they kind of just fall off. Because if they're tight, that means it has a tight fit inside the hole in the cargo. And even after hammering them in, guys, the makugi pegs are still in pretty good shape. There's no problem with it. What I used to hammer it out was an Allen key, and this kind of fits perfectly right inside. Okay, so you can kind of get you can hammer this in, and it hits the makugi pegs perfectly flush, and it won't chip them or crack them or anything like that. So I would recommend getting an Allen key, something like this, something that's going to fit into the cargo hole pretty well. This was a great thing to kind of hammer this out, and obviously I had my, you need a little rubber mallet, something like this, again on Amazon. I'll put an associate's link on there as well. But this is a great little piece. It's got enough force, but not too much force where you're going to damage or crack the wood or anything like that. So definitely recommend this. Starting with the ska. Now, I did order a full wrap Samigawa, and that's exactly what I got. You can see it's full wrap all the way around, which I'm very happy that they gave me a full wrap Samigawa. And you could tell it's a full wrap by holding it like this, because it has a little bit more weight to it, being a full wrap. I noticed I went in with a magnifying glass. I don't know if you can see it here. Let's see if this actually works. Oh yeah, it does work. You can see here that kind of there's no cracks or anything in the ska, which is actually very, very good. After doing a cutting session, you want to make sure it's in good shape. And I think, again, I'm a big fan of the full Samigawa wrap. It'll keep the wood core in place, and that's exactly what it did. Ito's in great shape. Everything is super tight all the way up to the top to the bottom. The fuchi, obviously, you can't take it apart, and I think it was actually glued on. So very, very big improvement, Jkoo. Very big improvement in your fit and finish. Van, thank you for taking my input and really making me a much better sword. I feel like the fit and finish on this is much better. Now, ultimately, now I'm going to put it back together and see how it works out. Show you close up on this camera here. So you notice the tang of the blade is in pretty good shape. It's filed. I mean, it's not a rusty mess. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but it's actually in pretty good shape. And you notice there is the signature of the smith on the tang, which is something I requested. But other than that, it's filed pretty nicely. Obviously, it's not, a more expensive sword, you're going to get a lot better filing, but it's, for all intents and purposes, they did a really nice job. It's got a nice little luster to it. There's not really any rust. Signature of the smith is hammered in pretty well. It's very, very visible for the most part. Yeah, guys, I'm very happy with the blade. Okay, it's in bare bones, other than the habaki in place. I have gloves on, but I could tell it's smoothed out to the point where there's no like sharp edges or anything like that. But this is the actual blade, bare bones, and it's in great shape. Habaki has such a much better fit, guys. I mean, the other one was kind of just falling out of place. It wasn't staying in place. This kind of just basically stays in place. Okay, and I don't even want to take it apart because it's perfect. I didn't cut any water bottles. I don't need to clean underneath it. So Habaki's staying where it is, and it's got a really nice fit around the blade. And I'm very happy with the improvement that they made with the fit and finish of the Habaki onto the Nikago. Again, I gave them a lot of input from the last sword, and I see that everything kind of fits very, very, very narrow gaps in between. But other than that, it's staying in place, and it looks really, really good. Okay, so very happy with the fit and finish. Everything looks great. Tsuba looks fine. Everything fits really well. Now I'm going to go and take all of this and I'm going to assemble it again. And after assembly, I'm going to see if everything is fitting exactly the way it needs to fit when I first got the sword. And that'll be the end of it. Then I'll say, listen, they did a great job. So let's hope that happens. So let's hang around. Let me put this back together. Okay, guys, presto changeo. Here's your finished katana. Okay, all puts it back together, nice and tight. Mikugi pegs, like I said, were a little tight, but you know what? Hammering them into place, they were fine. You know, perfectly the size that the size of the Nikago hole to the Mikugi peg. So here it is, guys. Here's your finished. This is your purchased, cut width, and disassembled, completely disassembled to bare bones katana, and put back together again. So now what I have to say about this: Tsuba, Habaki, Seppas, Fuchi, Kashira, everything is very, very tight. Took it apart, put it back together, hammered the Mikugi pegs back in. Mikugi pegs are still in good shape. That goes to show me the fit and finish on this katana is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted SinoSwords to do for me. Van, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for taking all the grief and all of my input and giving me the sword exactly the way I wanted it. Perfect fit and finish. Perfect tightness of the Habaki, perfectly fine after taking it apart, putting it back together. This, guys, is exactly what a katana should be. This is exactly what it should be. Very, very happy with the fit and finish. Kudos to SinoSwords-Jkoo for giving me, for improving their fit and finish on this katana. I'm hoping they do that for every sword after that. Van, whoever worked on my sword and sized everything up, he's a keeper, man. They did a great job. I'm extremely happy with it. So my end result of my III Katana, great cutter, beautiful hamon, beautiful blade, an excellent fit and finish, no rattle at all in the blade. It is just as close to perfect as I would want a katana to be. Is this Jkoo SinoSwords. So very, very good job, well done. SinoSwords, Van, Jkoo, thanks for everything. This is exactly the sword that I wanted. So my end result is as close as perfect as possible on the SinoSwords. Shame that there's a bend in it, okay? Again, I think that was more my fault than anything else. But end result, very satisfied with this Jkoo sword, with this redo of a sword that had totally the opposite on the spectrum as far as fit and finish. They took my advice, they improved their product, and that they should be commended for that, and they should be noted that they did that. So very good job on this SinoSwords, guys. Thank you for sticking around through the whole process. I wanted to be very thorough with this since it was a redo, and extremely happy with the end result of this SinoSword. So that's all I have for that.